Most other posts seem more focused on negativity. I am proud of being good at my job and providing people with the best possible service. I think I am becoming more handsome with age and turned out to be a pretty good guy. What about you? Story 1. I've shared this before, but it's my biggest source of pride. I was raised by a single teenage mom. My dad was in prison when I was 2 to 4 years old. My mom and I lived in 18 places by the time I graduated high school. I applied for university and student loans on my own in the late 1990s. I got my degree, then lived overseas. Then I got married and had 2 kids who were respectful, smart, and curious. Then I got divorced. Now, I have a challenging, rewarding career and have seen more of the world than I could have ever imagined. From where I was to where I am is something I'm proud of. Edit. Thanks for all the questions and comments, everyone. I'm happy to answer anything and listen to your stories too. Edit 2. Seriously, I love you all. Thank you so much. Now I want to write a book. Story 2. Just hit 2 years sober, down 75 pounds, for pant sizes, and started a better job. And I actually miss going to the gym. Edit. Thanks everybody. Edit. Thanks for the gold. Story 3. I rescue my own dogs. All were stray until I met them. All overcame their fears and behavioral issues to become gentle, friendly, well-behaved friends to everyone. I've helped a few foster dogs along the way too. I seem to have a way of helping them overcome their issues and find emotional balance. I've climbed mountains with my dogs. Story 4. I beat the final level on Excel once. But in all seriousness, learning how to use Excel beyond basic functions has been a huge time saver, and I can do some neat stuff in it. Story 5. I am proud of how I smile now. I went from an awkward, uncomfortable smile to a full, bright smile. I don't hear many compliments, but I am comfortable with my smile now, and people mention I always smile. Story 6. I have the knack. I can see mechanical and electromechanical devices, such as switches, relays, and motors, and just know how they work. I use this talent to fix and improve things, mostly fixing, as I have an irresistible urge to restore. My mechanics on YouTube is my kind of stuff. I have Asperger's and suspect it might be related. Story 7. I am proud of being a safe and nice person. Kids and animals just like being around me, and people almost never see me as a threat. I like helping people and people like helping me. I'm still depressed, but I've been getting better. I feel like I'm a positive influence in my small world. I've begun habits in my friends group of just helping random people because you can. I love to cook, and now during the quarantine, I've been cooking meals for my friends who are struggling with money. Story 8. I am proud that I have lost 140 pounds. Thanks for the support. I appreciate the positive feedback. More details. I was 340 pounds, and it has taken me since September 2018 to get to where I am now, 197 pounds. I did not expect to receive this much attention for this comment, but yes, for anyone who thinks they cannot, you can. Story 9. Last year, my upstairs toilet started leaking. I called a plumber, and 250 pounds, and a week later, it was fixed. A couple of weeks ago, the downstairs toilet started leaking. I thought, no way am I paying another 250 pounds for downstairs. I fixed it myself and had to remove the full pan and system to replace the cracked waste pipe. I was so proud of myself. Story 10. At 41, I started my master's degree in nursing informatics and have already passed my first 2 classes while working full-time and part-time jobs at 2 different hospitals. Story 11. I'm pretty proud of my tenacity. I used to give up really easily and put myself down along the way, thinking, I'll never be able to do this, so why bother? After a couple of miserable near failures and failures, I somehow changed these negative thoughts to, yeah, I'm miserable right now and this sucks, but I'm not going down like this. I'm just not going to quit. It helped me through 3 marathons, a messy breakup, and tons of bad situations at work. I never did manage to acquire that flowery mindset of, yeah, I can do this, because it just sounds like nonsense, but I can believe in the message, I won't give up. Story 12. I have been sober since January 1st, even though my wife kicked me out. Work is slow, and I have been alone working from home for months now. It almost feels like it has to be really hard right now, so I am tougher later. Holding on to that and praying a lot. I wish the gym had not closed though. I was starting to look pretty good. Story 13. I'm honestly pretty proud of how self-aware I am. I used to just hate myself, but now I've gotten to the point where I understand the bad parts of my personality and the good parts. So usually when my negative side comes out, I am aware of it and can work to suppress it. Story 14. Been lifting since I was 16 years old consistently. The longest break from lifting has been 10 days voluntarily. It will be 9 years in December. I'm almost 25 now. I won my first natural bodybuilding show and plan to compete for my natural professional card next year. I have also done some powerlifting and am close to hitting a 1200 total. My ultimate goal is to hit 1500 plus total while having an awesome physique worthy of a professional card. This adversity won't stop me from my goals. I'll do whatever I can for now until I can hit the gym again. Story 15. I am proud that I am a kind and approachable man, even in situations where people are not kind towards me. I am rarely offended and very understanding, and do not bark or bite, unless you mess with my loved ones. Story 16. There is nothing in my life I am pleased or proud of, except for one thing, a 10-month-old baby girl. The rest I have pretty much messed up and have nothing good to show for. Story 17. I am quite disciplined and productive for a 20-year-old university student because, rather than just wasting all of my time partying, which I do still do, but it just isn't my priority, I spend my day working on my career. As a result, I was able to obtain a pretty good pre-college job. I focus on improving myself to be handsome and confident, going to the gym, lifting weights and cardio, reading to expand my knowledge, waking up early, and abstaining from pornography, masturbation and orgasm, alcohol and drugs, all while maintaining a healthy social life, a good circle of friends, making time for my family, and still doing some partying here and there to enjoy myself. Story 18. I went from reading books about people's adventures fishing around the world to doing it for myself over the last 10 years. I walked away from a job that paid well but made me miserable at 29, put my belongings in storage, and left home. I've now worked in 5 countries in some of the world's remotest places. It was never easy, but it was certainly never boring. It's made me confident, calm in the face of adversity, and given me an appreciation for the innate goodness of people that I wish more people could experience. The coronavirus pandemic threw a spanner in the works as I was about to join a new company in the South Pacific after leaving Papua New Guinea, but that's obviously fallen through. On the bright side, I'm back in South Africa with my family to deal with the fallout. Story 19. I am really proud that I graduated from university and have been able to build the life I wanted. I am the first in my family to graduate from university and grew up where it was not expected that you would go to university or move away. When I was 14, a teacher told me I would never go to university. I knew I wanted to, though, and wanted to move to a large city. I did. I put myself through school, worked hard to get good grades, and now I am building a career working at a university, living in a big city and loving it. Story 20. I have a reputation for being the company genius. Absolutely not the word I would choose, but you get the point. I am referred to as some variation of that word both behind my back and in my presence. I have the credentials and proven work at the company to at least partially justify the usage. But I don't comport myself as aloof, impatient, not having the time for trivialities, above certain kinds of work, or worst of all, smarter than you in ways you can't even comprehend at all. Instead, a senior person in the office told a new colleague trying to find me, "Just find the nicest looking man in the office. That'll be him." I always keep calm, no matter how tense or scary a situation may seem. Multiple senior people in the office, as well as others at different levels, have gone out of their way to publicly compliment me on how my sense of humor brightens their days. People look to me not just for expertise but leadership. I am not without faults. I am introverted, I experience social anxiety, I am unconventional, I lack knowledge and experience in certain fundamental areas, and I make plenty of mistakes. But being able to rest on a foundation of smart, nice, and funny is something I'm extremely proud of. Story 21. Such a small thing, but I was so proud and excited for myself, a 17-year-old, to find this $25 Hot Wheels pack. Pretty sweet. For Nissans and a transport. Story 22. I don't cave to peer pressure. I'm confident even though I acknowledge I'm not the best at everything. I am my own person and am very polite, but I don't take nonsense from people. Story 23. I wrote a children's book for my son, and it was the first book I had ever written. I had it illustrated and self-published it on Amazon, giving it to him for Christmas. Okay, big deal, right? Well, for me it was, I barely graduated high school, failed the 9th grade, got expelled for a whole year once, and suspended on another occasion. To graduate with my original class, I did homeschool and night school. Funny fact, my principal told my caseworker if he was a betting man, he'd bet against me graduating. I am the only person in my family to graduate from high school. My mom and dad both dropped out in middle school, and my mom was pregnant at 16. I also went to college and got an associate's degree, and I am the only person in my family with a degree. I own a home, work full-time, and am married. I am also the only person in my family who has a job, one of which I've been at for 5 years. So yeah, I am proud of the book I wrote, even though I've only sold a few copies. I'm also proud that I did not die at an early age like one of my best friends, who did from drinking and driving, because I could have been in the car right beside him. Or the fact that I did not go to prison like my other best friend did at 16 for 10 years for armed robbery, because I could have also been there right beside him. Furthermore, when giving my son his present on Christmas morning, my wife, along with her family, all took turns reading the book aloud to my son, and some even cried. This was another big deal to me because I am closer to my wife's family than my own and didn't see any of my family on Christmas. Story 24. Surviving and thriving when my electrical career took me to Fort McMurray 10 years ago. I thought that environment was going to eat me alive. Everything about the place seemed so challenging. However, I made a lot of solid friendships and had some great times. I'll never go back though. Story 25. I guess I would say that I am proudest of being able to stand up for what I believe and not having to always go in the direction of the wind. I used to be very meek and timid when I was younger and would let people walk over me. Story 26. I'm good at my job. I own a house. I'm set to make a lot of money, assuming the housing market in my town doesn't crash. I'm happily married with a baby on the way. Story 27. I'm proud to say that I have a likable personality. It surprises me sometimes that some people seem to gravitate towards me and talk to me about their problems, what they enjoy doing in their spare time, and what makes them smile. I'm proud to say I'm a good listener, and just a 2 to 3 minute conversation with me can turn somebody's bad day into a more enjoyable one. I'm blessed for it. Story 28. My wife and I are only 27, but we adopted an 11-year-old boy from Ukraine. 3.5 months into it. It is very hard. Very hard. But today, while playing, he told me about how he was always so sad at the orphanage because no one wanted to play with him, and now he is happy because he has a mom and dad. Whatever happens, we have given him love, a home, and a chance he never had. Story 29. I have a really annoying neurological disorder, but I'm kind of making it in life after about a decade of constant struggle, which is really nice. Also, I think all of that gave me some character, so that's good. Story 30. My patience with people when teaching them something new or something they are not confident in doing is important. Being made to feel stupid when learning something is the most demoralizing thing when you are trying to better yourself. Having someone who will not criticize questions and focuses on how far you have come, while you are focusing on how far you still have to go, is such a powerful thing. Story 31. Man, this post made me realize how much I hate myself. I kind of have decent abs, and I know that I'm a nice person. I didn't mean that part as a bad thing. It just kind of made me realize I need to work on my self-esteem. Story 32. Sober 13 years after having a manic episode when I was 17. Diagnosed with bipolar disorder at age 25. Recently started taking medication for depression and undergoing therapy. Up until now, I have managed my mental health through routine and fitness. Then I went traveling, and it made things a lot harder, leading to my depression. Finally accepting that it's okay to be on medication and to go to therapy. On the way up. Story 33. Today is the 17-month anniversary of me kicking my soon-to-be ex-wife out. She's still moving around the Midwest and hiding from several law enforcement agencies. Had another officer at our door over the weekend trying to serve a warrant. She's still giving out my address as her own. Story 34. I'm very open-minded about things. Sexually, socially, scientifically, and philosophically. I have a great knowledge base from being a nearly decade-long recluse, doing nothing but reading and learning from the internet. I love my size and strength as it gives me a huge confidence boost. I've improved my writing a lot as I work on my novel, though I haven't worked on it in a while since it's a depressing one. I'm proud of the premise and the complexities that it explores. I believe that I have a lot to offer a person in terms of a relationship and can bring a lot of happiness into their lives. It's just that I need to work on my mental health and insecurities before I even consider doing something like that. But I don't think I'd be a bad person for someone to be with. I hope that someone can see and feel that way about me someday. It feels good to say good things about myself. I think more people should try it. Story 35. How I lost everything when I moved to a new city for my old fiancé and then got into a really bad pit of depression. Recently lost my significant other about a week ago, and I am so proud of how much stronger and happier I have become. I'm so proud of all the progress I've made in the last few years and the last week. I can tell I'm more confident like I used to be, and I'm much happier even if it's alone. I'm proud I'm getting back on my feet and working out and finally going back to 175 pounds when I've been under 120 for a long time. I'm proud of myself and the progress I've made. I'm so proud of how happy I can be with myself. I hope more than anything I keep taking another step forward every day instead of one day walking backwards. Thank you for giving me the chance to share. It makes me feel really happy to see in a text form how much I've grown.